we have an efficiency of 29.4%. And today you visited our demonstration facilities here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and our second generation technology. We are establishing, will be establishing a new world's efficiency record. And just to put this into perspective, the sun, our nuclear furnace that's out there in space 93 million miles away, is such a vast energy resource. It exceeds all the fossil fuels in America in just 20 days of solar installation in the Southwest. It exceeds that reserve by 500 times. You can fit 1 million Earths inside the sun. There is no greater vast energy resource that the human population on the planet has to tap into. I would argue that there is a silver bullet in a solution for energy, not only for America, but for the world. If we had an Apollo program with leadership that galvanized around this solar hydrogen-based economy and invited all the captains of industry to respond to this call to help America reserve its precious oil reserves for other industrial applications, to reserve its natural gas for home heating and cooking and food processing and other more valuable applications that we will need for generations to come. As it is now, you look at the oil reserves that we have, and the oil reserves will peak sometime in this next decade. And looking out into the future, you can see statistics showing that we're 50-year supply of oil. And as we extract more, we eliminating the availability of them for future generations. I would make one more point, and that is when we burn our fossil fuels with this over-dependency, we're building up carbon in the atmosphere, which builds up kinetic energy and heats our oceans, and it causes climate changes. So that one might argue and build a case to say that these recent hurricanes in Florida are a result of our humanity's burning of fossil fuels and heating the planet, global warming. Now what we have to do is we have displaced residences. You've got many of these people who have financial losses as a result of that. And one would argue that there's more of those kinds of disastrous storms still coming to us. And as a result of that, we have to provide tax base to go in and support those individual homes and businesses to help rebuild, which we should do. But it could be a cost that may be able to be avoided. We have to replant the trees, and one could also argue that the forest fires that we've experienced over the past decade as a result of our drought in the West, which is recorded now as a 50-year drought. So what happens in drought conditions like that? Well, the forests dry out more and they're more susceptible to fire. When a fire comes through, they're able to get to hotter temperatures and they're much more destructive. And up in Arizona, you had 200,000 acres of pine trees that have been destroyed from a beetle infestation. And that, one could argue, is a result of the trees being more disease prone because they're not as healthy. And so when you begin to connect the relationship through the burning of fossil fuels, the increase of dramatic climate changes, just look at the record rate at which our glaciers are melting. Mount Kilimanjaro, in a decade, snow caps will be gone. The Andes, rapid decrease in glaciers and snowfall. And what happens in those instances, you're losing your reservoir for agriculture and human consumption. And we certainly need a lot of water for all of our industrial applications and our lifestyle. So there's lots of these challenges relating to burning fossil fuel, and from my side of the energy industry, looking at from the renewable energy perspective, I believe that all the renewables, not just solar, but wind, geothermal, biomass, all can be part of the solution. There's enough of these renewable energies for America to become completely 100% independent of fossil fuel-based and nuclear-based power generation. And so there's a vast opportunity, and I'm excited about SES's contribution to helping to mitigate climate change and created an alternative for decision makers who are looking to build coal, natural gas, or nuclear power plants with this alternative. One that does not build in a high price tag for the American consumer, who, as a result of these externality costs with coal, oil, and natural gas, our health insurance is more costly, our energy bills are more costly. It gets us often into a quagmire of social, global, political issues that again cost the American taxpayers a lot of money, not to mention the huge trade deficit we have with importing foreign energy.